Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a great day. And today we're going to talk about Oatly. Let's get this video to at least 50 likes. If you're watching this video, give it a thumbs up. First off, I want to talk to you about what is happening with Oatly. We'll talk about the stock price. We'll talk about where the stock price is compared to the IPO price. We'll talk about what has happened to the stock price in the recent months. And especially after they released the first quarter earnings. I'll also be showing you all the recent news and updates around Oatly. We'll head to the investors page and we'll see all the latest and greatest news that Oatly has to share with us. I also want to react to one of the videos that was posted out by Wall Street Journal on the 9th of June. And just want to give my thoughts there. I hope you'll find that interesting as well. We'll talk about the competition in the US. We'll talk about what I'll be looking for specifically in the next few months from Oatly. And lastly, I'll tell you everything about what I am doing personally with the Oatly shares I hold. As you might know, I already have quite a few Oatly shares, and I plan to be very transparent about where I'm at, if I'm up, if I'm down, what is my plan. I'll share all of that with you in today's video. So without further ado, let's get into it. I want to show you how my fridge looks like. Let's go over and see it. Well, as you can see, I've been trying to pump the Oatly stock quite a lot. I've been buying 5 boxes of Oatly every day. Oh dear God, stock won't go up. The stock won't go up. It ain't working. It ain't working. Okay, in all seriousness, let's get into the topics. I know it's been a long time since I made the last video. I must say though, that I got overwhelming response from everyone on that video. I would say that we are a pretty small channel with like 128 subscribers as of now. That is why I was extremely happy to see so much, love and attention on the other video that I made on Oatly. Thanks for all your comments. And I appreciate all of that. So thank you. All right. So as of this recording, as you can see, Oatly is down 81% from its IPO times, right? In the last 1 year, Oatly has been down 82%. And year to date, it is down 51%. Now, in these times, I'm not really surprised why Oatly has fallen by 50%. We are in a world where there's high inflation, there are recessionary fears, interest rates are going up. Companies which are not profitable will never get attention from investors in these points, right? Like people want to invest in companies which have free cash flow to be able to survive the recession. And these times, Oatly, which is a non-profitable company, is not getting much attention, and that's all expected. So I'm not too worried short term. Now, I made a video on Oatly and why I was buying heavily on the 7th of May, 2022. Now, if you look at the Oatly stock price near around that time, Oatly was about $3.04 a share. Today, Oatly is $4.09 a share. So if you were to buy at that point when I made that video, you would have been up, let's have a look, 35% as of today. So yeah, if you bought Oatly when I made that video, you'd be up 35% by now, and you owe me a beer. Let me know in the comments how we can make that happen. This is just a fun fact. Like, it does not matter how up we are as of today. All that matters is we are long-term investors. It does not matter if a person is up 30%, 35%, 40% short-term. We are long-term investors, and I'll hold on to Oatly until I have made huge returns. Huge is TBD, but I would at least want a 2x, 3x return before I sell out. Now, I have been buying Oatly even before that. So very, very transparently, I'm just 1% up on Oatly, but it doesn't matter because I'm in it for the very long run. For this video, I have a request. Let's get this video to at least 50 likes. We got 250 on the other one. I'm pretty sure we can do it here as well. Let's go. Now, I wanted to share with you some of the latest and greatest news around Oatly and some of their financial expectations as we go along in this year. So yeah, let's head over to Oatly news releases. I want to draw your attention to 3 releases from here. The first one is around the financial results for Q1. So on the 4th of May, 2022, Oatly announced the first quarter 2022 financial results. And the 2 highlights from the results were that the first quarter revenue was 166 million. And they also reiterated on the 2022 outlook, which was great to see. Now, it still remains to be seen where they can actually meet the expectation for 2022, which was reiterated. So when Oatly announces Q2 earnings, this is something that I'll be looking out for. The second news I want to draw your attention to is the Oatly and Espresso House collaboration in 5 countries. So essentially, Espresso House, which is the largest coffee chain in the Nordics, is collaborating with Oatly to help more people enjoy plant-based products. The 5 countries are Sweden, Norway, Finland, Denmark, and Germany, where this collaboration is starting to happen. The Chief Commercial Officer of Espresso House also mentions that our collaboration with Oatly is an important step in line with our sustainability efforts, and we are convinced that our customers will enjoy Oatly's products. They also mentioned that it's Espresso House's goal that 50% of their menu should be available as plant-based, which we are close to achieving. So this is absolutely amazing to see. The second piece of article which I want to draw your attention to is Oatly launching 1-hour delivery in Los Angeles and New York City. Now, again, this is nothing dramatically big. I would not expect these kind of things to move the stock price, but it's still great to see that they're trying their best to get to customers as soon as they can, right? So yeah, the highlight of this article is that Oatly now offers 1-hour delivery of a selection of its best-selling oat-based products, including oat milk and frozen non-dairy desserts, pints, and novelties in LA and New York City through popular food delivery apps. So basically, consumers can order Oatly products through branded storefronts like Postmates, Uber Eats, DoorDash, and Grubhub, and Reef Kitchens powers the delivery for the oat milk products. The next article I want to bring your attention to is Oatly adding electric trucks to its North American transportation logistics. So essentially, Oatly announced the introduction of electric-powered heavy-duty trucks to companies around transportation in North America. As you can see here, Oatly is expanding its electric truck network to now include North America, and it continues on its path towards sustainable ground transportation. So this is all Oatly, speaking for its huge drive for sustainability, which is amazing to see as well. Next up, I want to react to one of the videos that was posted out on the 9th of June 2022 by Wall Street Journal, where they talked about how Oatly is losing its grip on oat milk market share. Now, this is a very interesting video, and I want to show you a few very interesting facts. So this was posted on the 9th of June on how Oatly is losing its grip on the oat milk market. Now, as you can see here, we are talking about 3 different companies. So there's the blue line, which is Hood, there's the red line, which is Oatly, and the white line, which is Chobani. And these are the 3 brands which produce oat milk in the States, which are the most common ones. Late 2019, Hood started to take over Oatly, mostly because of the supply issues that Oatly had. So yeah, one very interesting thing I noticed when I was watching this video is to see the consumer sentiment around this video. So if you look at the title of the video, it says how Oatly lost its grip on the oat milk market. Oh, you would expect people to be giving negative comments, saying that, yeah, you know what, I agree, that's just our bias. But I was extremely surprised to see the comments. Now let's have a look. So let's see what people say. So Oatly is still my favorite and only barista oat milk that never lets me down when making lattes, right? That's amazing. Now, this person, they work at Starbucks, and they say, and we use more oat milk than Oatly can supply. That just reiterates, that Oatly is not being able to meet the demand as is there. Now, they're not going to fail until Starbucks starts contracting their own production of oat milk, which I think is extremely unlikely. Now, this is also a very positive comment. It doesn't put down Oatly in any way or form. We'll also see that, people are calling out supply constraints. Again, we know that that's an issue that Oatly has to resolve. We also see that people say that I still believe Oatly is the best oat milk on the market in terms of taste and performance in specialty drinks. So, we are continuously seeing people loving the brand and the taste. So even if Oatly is a bit more expensive than other alternatives, it is the taste that matters. It is the brand that matters. For sure, an iPhone costs like much more than an Android phone would cost. Well, sure, you have performance improvements and all of that jazz, but it's mostly the brand that Apple has, right? Now, it's all about the quality is what I'm trying to say. So even if Oatly is a bit more expensive, that does not mean that, the competitors have an advantage. But the brand and the taste is what eventually matters. If you look at these comments, people are mostly saying that because Oatly has a supply problem, they're going for alternatives. It's not that they want to go for the alternatives. Now, people in Sweden, that's where Oatly is from, right? So here in Sweden, and there are loads of oat milk and other alternative brands, but Oatly is still one of the most popular ones, right? And it seems like Swedish people are not concerned about money too much. Well, but it's absolutely amazing to see that even on such a video posted out by Wall Street Journal, the consumer sentiment for Oatly and the brand and the taste is absolutely very positive. So that's also a very good sign for me. Now, we all know that it was Oatly that really drove the oat milk category, right? Everywhere in the world. Now, if we rewind back to 2019, the demand for Oatly was rising exponentially. That's all because of like their quirky advertisements. There were Oatly placements in, independent coffee shop. Oatly has the amazing brand taste and appeal that people want. Now, in the US specifically, the oat milk market has grown by about 330% since late 2019. That is amazing, right? Now, what happened in late 2019 is that the demand for oat-based milk, right, which was created by Oatly themselves, became really high. But now Oatly was not able to deliver and meet that demand. So they were basically falling short on supply. And that situation allowed a lot of other competitors to kind of come in and take some market share. Two of the competitors in the States that we're going to talk about now are Planet Oat, which is by the company Hood, and there is also a company called Chobani. So essentially, late 2019, they swooped into the market and started to take some market share away from Oatly. So if I were to summarize, what we are seeing here is Oatly not being able to keep up with the demand that itself created, right? And that is why it lost market share in the States. Now, it is still too soon to say, Chobani has won or Hood has won. No, absolutely no. What we are waiting for is to see if Oatly reacts to this and make sure that they can expand their manufacturing capacity. Because if they do, all of these problems can be short-term problems. They can easily be overcome. It's just a matter of time and fixing the operational issues. If Oatly does that, and if they can meet the demand that they have created, Oatly can easily emerge as the leader again. Now, the CEO of Oatly, Tony Peterson, is extremely clear about them being focused on the things that they can control and not worrying about the things they can't. So, like rising oat prices and inflation and all of that jazz, and like the CV restrictions and the lockdown restrictions in China. These are things that, Oatly can't really control. But what Oatly can control is making sure that they have enough production facilities that they can ramp up so that they can increase their production, which eventually directly correlates to their revenue. So having that, reassurance from the CEO gives me a lot of confidence that they can overcome these problems across the world as and when they start ramping up their production facilities all across the world, and then eventually, increase their gross margins and all of that jazz. So yeah, I'm not really worried about anything short term, and I'm pretty confident that Oatly can overcome these short-term problems extremely soon, hopefully towards the later half of this year. By the way, if you're enjoying this video, please give it a thumbs up. That would really help me out and spread this video to more people. Let's get this video to 50 likes, as we promised. Now, next up, I want to cover what are the things I'll be looking into as we go along in this next quarter, the next year, and so on and so forth. Let's start off by, addressing the problem that we talked about, which is Oatly not being able to meet the demand. Now, the first issue that Oatly called out in the first, quarter results was that supply was an issue because of a lot of different factors, right? The first one, and the most important one actually, was just the lockdowns in Asia, right? A lot of the manufacturing capabilities that Oatly has could not be utilized to their full potential because of the lockdowns in China. So their growth in Asia was definitely a bit limited because of that factor. Now, especially given that China is now starting to ease the lockdown restrictions, I have more confidence that Oatly can meet those demands as we go along in the future. Now, there are three things that I'll be paying attention to as we go along. The first thing that I'll be paying attention to is how Oatly can address the demand problem, right? As simple as that. The only reason why Oatly is struggling today is because it can't meet the demand that it created. So yeah, Oatly needs to double down on its production facilities that it's setting up across the world. For more context on all these different facilities, you can refer to my earlier video as well. Now, from what I remember top of my head, there was this Ogden facility that they have, which they expected to ramp up by Q2. So I'm expecting that the results, because of the Ogden facility, would sort of be reflected in the second quarter results that Oatly would post out. So definitely let's keep an eye on that. The second one that Oatly mentioned was Singapore facility, which they expected to, again, reach full capacity by Q3. That's something we should also look forward to. And they also mentioned that they have a Manshan facility in China, which they expected to kind of ramp up throughout this year. So I'll be super curious to see where that is at, especially that the lockdown restrictions are easing up in China. So to summarize, what we are looking forward to is Oatly making sure that it can enhance its production facilities so that it can expand its manufacturing capacity so that it can meet the demand that itself has created. So as long as Oatly solves that problem, I can see Oatly doing extremely well in the next few years. The second thing I want to be paying attention to is the revenue growth in Asia. Now, Oatly called out that the revenue growth in Asia in the last quarter was not as high because of the lockdown restrictions, which makes total sense. As and when the lockdown restrictions in China are easing off, I would expect the revenue in Asia to be catching up, primarily because of two reasons. One, because if there's no lockdown, people can go to the stores and buy Oatly more easily. And second of all, if there's no lockdown, their production in Asia could be a lot better because otherwise they have their production facilities just sitting idle and they have to pay for maintaining those facilities, but not being able to make any products because there's no workers. So as I expect the lockdown to ease up, I would expect production to go up in Asia and henceforth solve the demand problem. So I'll be keeping a close eye on that as well. The third thing I want to be looking into is the trends in the Americas. So as we saw the Wall Street Journal video, which I think makes a lot of sense, we are seeing that Hood is now overtaking Oatly in the States. So two things I want to be watching out for. Number one, how is Oatly performing in the Americas in Q2 compared to Q1? And second of all, what is the situation with the market share with Chobani and the Hood in the States? So to summarize, I'll be looking out for if Oatly can increase its production in Americas so that they can meet the demand. And that should give me enough confidence that Oatly one day can easily overtake Hood or Chobani, XYZ, whatever you call it. If you've been enjoying this video, give it a thumbs up right now. Now, let's get to the more interesting part. What am I going to do with my Oatly shares? Now, in the last few months, when the stock prices of growth companies are being hit and decimated, I've been buying more of Oatly. I want to be super transparent with you. In the last video that I published on the 7th of May, I had about 9,900 shares. So let's say about 10,000 shares, equaling a total of 31,000 pounds. I've been buying more. So at that time, my average price was $4.46. Now my average price is way lower. So as you can see now, I've been buying more of Oatly and have reduced my average price. So yeah, at this point in time, I don't think I'll be buying more of Oatly. I think I'm totally comfortable holding Oatly for the next 3 or 5 years to come, or until I make a significant return on it. But I don't think I need to buy more. I feel quite comfortable with my position right now. Having 11,000 shares of Oatly is quite a lot, and I want to be making sure that I'm diversifying as well. So for now, I'm sticking on to Oatly. I don't have any plans to sell it whatsoever. I want to see what the company does with solving the supply problem, and if it does, I might buy more. But until I see that evidence, I'm holding on and I'm holding on and I'm holding on. So yeah, that's pretty much for today's video. If you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you really like this kind of content, feel free to subscribe and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.